Hello, everyone. One last session, and then we'll be free. OK. Hi, everyone. I'm Pallavi Duggal. I'm the software engineering manager for flow orchestration and the approval processes. You have my colleague here, Sudhir Oja. He'll talk through us, talk with us about the approvals, and we are here to answer all the questions you had today on the booth.
Thank you, Pallavi. Can you hear me all OK? All right. If I had $1 for every time I was asked about approvals at one of those flow booths, let's just say I wouldn't be here, right? Approval processes, the classic one, has served us well, but it is time that we look at a more flexible and a modern approval process. With that said, let's dive into it. The usual forward-looking statements. This slide contains some forward-looking statements, and I would not make any purchase decisions just by looking at the contents of this slide. So keep that in mind. And we would love to hear from you. If you want to give us your feedback, the first 800 Trailblazers would get a coffee on us. So make sure we hear from you. And thank you, everyone, for being here. I know it's late. Thank you for staying back, and you would not be disappointed. All right. First off, approval processes are built on flow orchestrations, and they are included in the platform. They would be a platform feature, and they're built on top of flow orchestrations. What that means is you'll get the power of Flow Builder. You would be able to easily view the entire end-to-end process on the Flow Builder and arrange them just the way you like it, visualize it easily, and make sure that they are arranged in a way that you would like to see. There are two types of approvals. Unlike the older classic approvals, you can also have an auto-launched approval, which means you can launch it using a click of a button, launch it from Apex. You can also launch it from API. And the record-triggered approvals, you can launch it just like record-triggered flows. You can use an update or a create of record as a trigger, and that will kick off your approval process. You can define custom entry criteria to make it as per your needs for the business. So that'll help you launch the approval process the way you want. Next slide. This is a groundbreaking feature. We've built a new app from ground up just dedicated for approval needs. You'd be able to manage everything approval-related from this app, be it from looking at all the pending approval submissions. If you're a process owner, you want to look at all the pending approval submissions, you can do that. You can also manage all the workflows. If you are a designer, you create approval processes. You can do that from here. You can also look at all the work items, the items that need your attention. You are the approver, and you want to take a look at all the assigned items. You can do that from here. And as an end user also, the things that you initiated, which are waiting for somebody else's action, you can do that. You can look at each approval submission. So this app is all in one. And with approval orchestrations, you can do more. It's not just approvals. An approval step is a representation of a human interaction within your process. Say you've got a complicated process which goes through multiple layers of approvals. You've got some background steps to accomplish record keeping, bookkeeping. You can do all of that. So approval step will represent any human interaction in the process. And you can have a screen flow which backs that up. And this is displayed on the record page. So you can make it look just the way you would like it to be. You can have images. You'll have the power of screen flows within it. You can have reactive screens. And you can also get records. So you can do everything that a screen flow does inside of an approval step. A background step is even more powerful. Everything that does not require any human interaction can be a background step. It can be a call out to an external system. It can be a call out to your Apex. Everything an auto-launched flow can do, you can refer an auto-launched flow inside of the background step, and that'll help bring everything together. You can now have a good control over how approvals are accessed. Approvals can be accessed through a flow orchestration work guide component. This is out-of-the-box component which can be added to your record layout. So if there is a pending approval work item in that record, in the context of that record, and you're the assignee, you would see approval work item in the work guide. And this is the screen flow that I was talking about earlier. The screen flow is rendered inside of the work guide. You don't have to do any work. All you need to do is make sure that it's available on that record. Approvers, just like the classic ones, can also use the email feature. They can just respond to the email saying, this is approved, and we'll approve that work item for them. They can also say rejected. Approval work item list view is something that is new in the approvals app. So if you are the assignee of the approval, you can just go to the list view and take action from right there and say approve or rejected, and that'll take care of the approval. You can also customize what happens on approval submission. Say you're submitting an expense report, and once you submit it, you want some custom actions to happen. So one of the first things that you can do is record lock. You can just lock the record for edits. That means once there is a pending approval process, you don't have to, the editing on that record will be locked. You can also specify any exceptions to it. So say the approver themselves, they would like to make changes while an approval process is in progress, so they can be exempted from that record locking. And all of this can be customized directly when you're creating the approval process. You can also have custom approver emails. I think a lot of our orchestration users have been asking for this, and we've finally delivered it. You can now customize the email that is sent to the approver, which asks them to take an action. And you can have your own banner. It supports all the rich text features that you can have, and you can customize it just the way you would like it to be. Wow. And the main goal of using flow orchestrations behind approvals is that you can have a complicated process made very easy with approvals, be it multi-level of approvals, external integration, and also dynamic workflows. Say you've got multi-level of approvals for a very large deal. You can organize them into multiple stages, and you can also have decision points to have some conditions in between. And that will just allow you to make it just the way your organization would need it. And you'd be easily able to visualize all of that inside of the canvas, organized in neat stages, which I'll also cover in the demo. The second part is the external integration. So with hundreds of MuleSoft connectors, which can be used directly inside of a background step, you'd be able to connect to virtually any external system that you would like. And say you're doing a loan approval process where you would like it to connect to an underwriting company, which is an external system. You could directly do that inside of the flow and use the connectors to connect to your external system, update that system, fetch data from that, all of that made very easy. And you can have entry and exit criteria for each of the step and the stages that are defined in your approval process. What that means is you can have conditional approvals. Say opportunity is greater than $1 million, you want additional approvers for that. You can use a decision point easily. You can also define when a particular step is completed. Say you've got an external system, an asynchronous process, you're waiting for that to complete, and only then you want to move on. You can do that using entry and exit criteria on the step. Let's move on, and let's look at the product demonstration. All right, let me make sure I'm logged in here. So this is an opportunity, and what you can now do with the power of approval processes is use Agentforce from right here. And I can just say, within the context of that record, I can just say, can you submit this opportunity for approval? And behind the scenes, it will try to kickstart that process. It can also ask you if you want to enter any submitter comments. If I'll just do that. And just like that, Agentforce is able to submit your approval on your behalf. And there's a lot of things that happen in the background. So let's look at the orchestration first and how you can define this process. So this is the orchestration that was just kickstarted by the agent. This is a typical auto-launched orchestration. So you see an auto-launched workflow here. And this is the first stage. it first gets the opportunity details. This is the background step that I was talking about earlier. You can have an auto launch flow which can update records, get records, and then this is the approval step, which is now assigned to the approver. You can have a custom email right here on the properties editor panel. You can customize what the email looks like, which is sent to the approver. You can also control if the record is locked while this is in progress, and who can edit when it is locked. The approvers are allowed to edit. So you can control all of that right in the builder and make sure that this works just like the configuration in your org. You can also make smart decisions like this. If the decision, you can look at the outputs from all of these steps. So all the output variables that are produced from the screen flow or the auto launch flow are available here. You can look at those to make smart decisions and go through another layer of additional approvers. So when this is submitted, this is how it will look like for the approver. So this is the first level of approver who will be able to see it right here on the record. And this is the screen flow that you can easily customize. You can also get some additional data which is not available on this record. And I'm going to approve this. This will take the process forward. And since we had like additional levels of approvers, the next level of approver would now get an action item on their behalf, the director approver. And let's see, waiting for that. All right. So this is the director review now. So this has gone to the second level of approval. And once this is done, this would complete the process. You also have the benefit of automation app, where you can easily look at all the details of that stage and easily diagnose where the bottleneck is, what was completed by who, how much time it took. So any process improvements or optimizations can be done right here. And this is the approvals app that I was talking earlier, which is built from ground up. So be it pending approval submissions, all the submissions which are in progress are displayed here. Based on your access, you would see one or more of these tabs. So admins would be able to see all of them. End users may just see one of them. So that all depends on your access. You can look at approval workflows. These are the definitions of orchestrations that we just were looking at. So all the designers will be able to come here and manage various workflows. You can also look at all the work items that need your attention. You are the approver on that. You can just access this list view. And at the end, you can also look at all the submissions that you initiated. What's its status? Has it been approved yet? All of that right here. All right. With that said, let's go back to our presentation. I would also like to talk about what's on the roadmap for the fiscal year 26. So Slack integration is coming, where you would be able to directly send notifications to the approver and the submitter through Slack, and they would be able to easily action it without ever leaving Slack. Unanimous approvers is also coming, where all the approvers inside of a group or a queue will be required to approve. Without unanimous approval, the process will not go forward. So it will wait for everybody, all members of that group to approve it. And recall paths is coming. This is something new, where you would be able to control what happens when a submission is recalled. Say, when the submission kicked off, you updated a bunch of records, and if it was recalled, you would like to bookkeep and bring them all back to the state it was before the submission. You'd be able to do that inside of a recall path, which will be on the flow builder. And there will be two paths, one path which is the approval path, and one which will control what happens on the recall. And there's also a guided user experience coming for creation of the approval. So you'd be able to answer a bunch of questions, and we will create a skeleton of an approval process for you so that it acts as a good starting point for you. Move on. And with that said, I can't wait for you all to try this product. And if there are any questions at this point, we're all here. Feel free to ask them out.